The whole concept of Kindred is get the car out of the garage, get it on the road. So anything that limits you from saying, I'm gonna drive the car today, we're gonna limit that. So we're relentless around making sure that we take care of all those things once when we design the car so that we have it forevermore. The car for me delivers joy, right? So I just love cars. I love the driving experience. And for me, I really want to make sure when I'm driving that I'm present in the car and enjoying the driving experience, as opposed to worrying about, is it going to break down, or is it going to make it around the corner here? Is it going to stop on time? So for me, I think I go right to the emotion part of what the car is. I love the craftsmanship and ability to work with your hands. It's an important part of what a car is to me. I'm Rob Howard, founder and CEO, Kindred Motorworks. For 20 years, I've been restoring cars in my garage because I craved working with my hands. And I really valued spending a few hours out there and coming back and working on that bumper. And every time you see that bumper, you know you put that bumper on there. And while working on that 1957 Chevy, I kept a notebook. And it was simply, what are the parts I need to order? Have they arrived? Where did I put them? And I also, as I took parts off the car, I put them in, plastic baggies and wrote the name of the part on there. I thought clearly, but turns out not so clearly. But as part of that process, I looked at the notebook and it was complex. And with a technology background, I knew if I applied technology to organize that process and then we standardized it, that the car would come out much better, much higher quality, and you could do it more rapidly and more cost effectively. So Kindred absolutely was born out of my experience in the garage that night working on cars. And there's a lot of people that can restore a car and make it look beautiful. But to make it truly high quality and to be able to repeat the process, you've got to invest in the process first. So when building the company, we started building the technology platform. We call it Blueprint, which keeps track of the work instructions and the torque on every single bolt in the car. We know all 5,000 steps tearing the car down and building it up. And we know all 1,253 parts. And I know the torque on every bolt, what to do, what not to do. And without that, we weren't going to be able to grow the company in a meaningful way. But really, it's about the quality of the experience, right? So when you learn something that doesn't work, you change the work instructions so you never do it again. And that unlocks the ability to build higher quality cars and build more of them. So we knew from day one that process was going to be really important here. So we invested in that technology as well as building the prototypes.
I get to help guide the decisions made for the technical aspects of these vehicles, things like suspension, braking components, steering, power units, all of the fun things that make these cars unique. As you can see, they're both based off of the same chassis, which is the first generation Ford Bronco. These cars are 66 and 69 respectively, but from there you can kind of see there are some unique differences just in the way they look visually. First of all, this car's riding a little bit higher. So this is our gas Bronco. This uses a 5-liter Coyote fuel-injected V8, a very popular swap these days when you're doing a resto mod of the Bronco. We're running a 10-speed automatic transmission, and we've also upgraded the suspension with a multi-link coil spring and Bilstein damper package. So the car is pretty traditional in that sense. It runs solid axles like it did from the factory, but we've upgraded those with Dana differentials, Atlas transfer case, things that are known in the off-road world to really make these cars robust and trail ready. This is our EV Bronco. So this is a fully electric vehicle. It has dual electric motors, one in the front, one in the rear. Acts as a full-time all-wheel drive system. Obviously, big difference powertrain. So 2 electric motors. These are a Borg Warner unit. They're Cascadia Motion. Each one's rated about 300 horsepower. So You can imagine the power in this vehicle is tremendous. With my previous experience in professional motorsports, IndyCar, and IMSA series, I've really grown attached to these EV models, and I'm starting to grow a real fondness for the EV powertrain, the way that the power delivery happens, the quiet, efficient nature of these vehicles is something I'm really looking forward to in the future.
It's a very nostalgic car. It also kind of represents simpler times, but there's also a lot of hesitancy about driving the old ones. They leak like crazy, they're very loud, they don't stop well. So we knew we could modernize that car and make it way better than the original.
I've been chasing high-level interiors my entire career. From the attention to detail it takes to make a really high-level pattern, to the techniques used to get excellent results. At Kindred, our design language is something that's very simple and hopefully very timeless. We like a very clean and simple aesthetic. When it comes to our seats, that's where you experience just a lot of flat leather, delicate stitching, but it's pronounced. All of our seams are tuck and rolled. There's a little bit more of a process to it, but it gives you a very clean approach and a very smooth feel.
Our vehicle development process here at Kindred is very forward-thinking. After we've completed the RB build and completed all of our validations, we hand the vehicle over to production. With a set of work instructions and trainers on staff, we go ahead and get the team trained up, get them familiarized with the processes, and go ahead and launch the vehicle into production. I think one of the things that makes an EV classic vehicle so unique is that you get an engaging driving experience that stirs a lot of the same emotions without a lot of the complications of a gas engine.
Kindred is a little unique in the sense that we don't offer true customization. What happens is you get bogged down searching for the parts and having problems with it, and then you really have a hard time servicing the car because everything is unique every single time. So what happens is the cost goes up, the timeline to get access to them goes up, the quality goes down when you do too much customization. Scale leads to quality. The more often you do the same thing, the higher quality it will be. So we allow for configuration, and every once in a while we come out with a limited edition. But customization is a bad word around here because it destroys scalability, destroys quality, and destroys serviceability of the car. When it comes to new models, we choose new models based on the availability of the parts and the interest in the company in doing that model. Is there a community of buyers out there for the car? And the way we're set up is really like a flywheel. It's a vehicle development flywheel. And then that vehicle development flywheel goes again with the next model. And then that goes into production. So Kindred grows less by selling tons of one model. In fact, we actually limit production on any one model. And we expand by adding new models to the lineup. One thing about Kindred is also interesting and unique is where we are. We're here on Mare Island, a former Navy base that was abandoned 30 years ago. They're restoring the island. We've restored this building, which has been empty for 30 years. And within the building, we're restoring these cars. So it really fits our brand really well. And it's something that we would look to replicate in other locations that we'd have around the country. Kindred is really a new auto manufacturer. All of our cars are original cars, so every single car has the original chain of custody of an originally manufactured vintage car, but it is fully modernized, all the Kindred cars. Our motto is enjoy the ride. And what we mean by that is the ride of owning one of these cars, as well as driving the car. Because I found my old cars, when you're driving them and you're uncertain of the car, you're not present and you're not enjoying the driving experience. So for Kindred, the goal is to get you into that joyful spot, both of the ownership of the car, but also the driving of the car. The gas versus electric debate is fascinating. There's a long history of replacing the engine in old cars. The crate engine business is a $2 billion or more industry alone. And it just so happens that EV is the newest crate engine. It's undeniably lower maintenance. It's reliable. It's sustainable. It's higher performance. And at this point, it's now a push on cost. It's about performance, maintenance, and reliability. We call it Kindred. First of all, I like the word. It's a nice word. It has positive connotations. It's underused, frankly. What comes to mind probably is kindred spirit, and that's exactly what our cars are. They're kindred spirits of the original cars, kind of modern versions of the original cars. But there's also a sense of community around each model where you have kinship with the other people that own that car. When you're driving a classic car and you see someone else driving the same one, it's an automatic. How you doing? It's incredible. It's been an incredible journey, and it's important to take that step back every once in a while to really appreciate how far we've come.